What if I told you deleting one toxic app could add up to 11 healthy years to your life? Sounds wild. Keep an eye on the data trail. We'll unpack that 11-year claim step by step. You're scrolling through your feed at midnight when that tight knot grips your chest. Someone just got the promotion you wanted, bought the house you can't afford, married the partner you're still looking for. Ever felt that flash of heat in your cheeks? The micro panic that whispers, "You're behind." Think about it. How many choices in the last 24 hours did you make for you, and how many did you make to dodge someone else's judgment? Have you ever caught yourself rehearsing an imaginary argument in the shower with a critic who may never speak out loud? Tonight, we're ripping the mask off that invisible puppet master. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll have a rebel's toolkit to stop outsourcing your peace, and a dare that could make tomorrow the first day you move purely for yourself. 11 years is a population level up to figure. Your mileage depends on how you use the time you win back. Ready? We inherited an ancient operating system. Please the tribe or be left outside the fire. In modern life, that primal loop mutates into 4 chains. Stress contagion. You absorb tension like charcoal soaks smoke. Opinion addiction. You crowdsource your self-worth before you hit post. Emotional GPS. You steer around other people's outbursts as if they're landmines. Comparison curse. You keep score until joy feels rigged against you. Let's unpack these topics a bit. Chapter 1. Stress. Contagion. Imagine this. Your banking app still flashes a 5-figure student loan balance, while the knowledge that one sudden appendectomy could wipe out your entire savings teams up with a CNBC alert screaming "Market plunges." In another corner of the screen, a push notification about yet another mass shooting, a climate disaster chart, and a Twitter flame war all light up at once. Before you can lock your phone, LinkedIn drops a promotion plus engagement plus Maui honeymoon post, injecting FOMO straight into your veins, while Slack still expects a green dot at 11:47 p.m. The loneliness epidemic turns the "I've got this" culture into a storefront of fake swagger. With no safe shoulder to lean on, your inner monologue boils like a pressure cooker. Chronic cortisol flows from 5 faucets: economic uncertainty, healthcare insecurity, political polarization, digital comparison, and the non-stop ping of notifications. And you're left asking your own body. Telomere studies link this cortisol smog to faster cellular aging, the clock we're trying to roll back by those extra years. Which part of this toxic smog did I actually inhale today? 2. Approval addiction. One little ting, and your thumb snaps to attention. See the pattern? The light counter shoots dopamine like a Vegas slot. Too low and your mood tanks, too high and you start chasing the next hit. In ancient times, crowd approval was literal life insurance. Now it's algorithm roulette. Offline, the cycle feels the same. Your boss drops a quick "nice work," and your soul levitates, but a single critique sends it crashing. Be honest, have you rented out your entire self-worth to someone else's app? Each dopamine dip equals more stress, less sleep, a direct pinch on that longevity pipeline. 3. Emotional GPS. Do you check the weather in your house by scanning your partner's face? Looks tense. Better not bring that up. Teacher seems drained. Skip the extra questions. If you're always reading other people's barometers, your own compass spins into a magnetic storm. Psychologists call it emotional caretaking. While you're folding everyone else's towels, you don't notice the soaked shirt clinging to your own back. In ancient theater, Cassandra warned of doom and no one listened. You're warning yourself so doom won't happen, yet your voice never gets airtime. When do you open your news bulletin? 4. The comparison curse. Narcissus fell for his reflection. We drown in ours by staring through a glass screen at other people's highlight reels. Harvard's happiness curve research shows subjective joy drops 14% the instant we start measuring against someone else. Worse, comparison manufactures hologram fairness, a hazy belief that everyone's secretly keeping an unfair scorecard. The payoff? Life starts to feel gigged. and that bitterness idles into passive rage. So, on which imaginary scoreboard do you think you're lagging behind? Slice the compare time, and epidemiologists say you slice years off your biological age curve too. Updating the mythic sirens. The ropes that lashed Odysseus to the mast were bronze prototypes of these 4 chains. Today's sirens sing in notification dings, email hums, and scene receipts. Wax becomes mindful awareness. Rope becomes personal boundaries. In a moment, we'll learn how to dial down their volume without stuffing our ears shut. For now, ask yourself, what's the name of the rope binding you, and which knot will you untie first? Picture this. Your alarm goes off, you grab your phone on autopilot, and 2 thumb swipes later, you've fired up the very comparison carousel the Cambridge team just warned us about. Friend A shows off a new award. Friend B's boarding a flight to Cabo. Friend C is mid-wubby-woed and grinning. If you lean anxious, your brain logs every image as a comparison calorie. Zero satiety, endless appetite. Cambridge's fresh data. Anxious teens hit that compare button twice as often as their calmer peers, and when feedback turns negative, their mood chart drops like a roller coaster. Delete the app that feeds this carousel, and you've already taken the first swing at the 11-year prize. Less comparison, less cortisol, more life hours reclaimed. Fast forward to adulthood. PubMed tells us the same game jacks up cortisol and shreds sleep. Go to bed thinking, still no house, huh? And you'll wake up with your battery already 30% drained. Cortisol feels like rocket fuel for a day, but run it nightly and you're paying compound interest. Zoom 1 level deeper. A 2024 King's College London meta-analysis says 1 daily jailbreak, stepping outside before you open email, touching grass literally, cuts inflammatory markers 23% in 6 weeks. Translation: the tiny rebellion that steals 2 minutes from your inbox hands years back to your cells. Why does any of this matter? Because the next stop is the let them off-ramp. If this content is making sense to you, click the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. Quit reading the traffic signs that track other people's opinions, and your brain's threat monitor finally downgrades the alert. Cortisol dips, sleep thickens, and you crawl out of bed feeling closer to 100% charged. Quick test drive. 1. Catch the spark. Feel the first flicker of compare and despair. Say, gotcha, and put the phone down. 2. Micro rebel. Open a window, inhale 5 slow breaths, let your shoulders drop. 3. Inner feedback. Ask, what's one thing today that would make me proud? Spoiler, the answer isn't more likes. 4. Repeat. Nab that loop 3 times a day, and you've punched the same cellular reset button King's College measured. Bottom line, the comparison highway wrecks both mood and biology, but you're still behind the wheel. Next time a promotion plus honeymoon post flashes across the dash, click your blinker and glide into the let them exit lane. That's how you clear space to floor the gas on what actually moves you. Imagine your mind is that pointless browser tab humming in the background. One eye roll from a coworker, and suddenly the CPU spikes to 100%. The let them protocol is the one-click kill switch that frees up RAM, not sloppy whatever nihilism, but sleek algorithmic elegance. Let's pop the hood. Stage 1, spot the spark, hack the algorithm. Run a body scan, shoulders tighten, stomach flutters. That biological pop-up arrives stamped external threat. Whisper to your brain, processing, labeling it approval anxiety, calms the amygdala by roughly 30%. fMRI scans don't lie. Stage 2, let them sandbox the emotion. Watch the sigh or the slow typing bubble like it's VR footage. One line does it. Let name sigh. You've moved from starring in the drama to watching it. Stanford's 2024 data shows a single internal let them drops heart rate toward baseline in 40 seconds. Gravity, hacked. Stage 3, pivot to self-pride. Grab the dopamine wheel. Ask, what micro move would push me 2 hours forward right now? Approval is outsourced. Pride is in-house manufacturing. Harvard's positive psychology lab says even a tiny secret win fuels a 48-hour motivation reserve. One stealth success equaled biochemical steroids. Stage 4, Micro-Autonomy Act. Push the behavior code rule. Act within 30 seconds. Hit send on the Slack DM. Tweak the email subject to FYI. Stand up and crack a window. Anything finishable. That quick commit stamps a checkpoint in your dopamine circuit. Pro tip: spend week 1 in the social sandbox. Grocery lines, family chats, the no-signal using driver. Roll the protocol into a high-stakes CEO meeting after day 7. Muscle memory will have your back. Distance alone won't cut it. Next segment will bolt on booster packs, body cue hacks, Teflon phrase templates, and a 24-hour comparison detox. For now, ask yourself, which useless tab is eating your RAM today, and how many milliseconds to hit close? Think every 10-minute scrollathon is free entertainment? Check the receipt. Carnegie Mellon's newest report says social comparison eats an average of 119 focus minutes a day, about 300 work hours a year. Stretch that over a 40-year career, and you've torched a full 10 and a half working years. By retirement, your brain will still be stuck at the office, but the paycheck will look like the zero-cal cat videos you kept flicking through. Emotional debits. Michigan's marriage lab shadowed couples for 3 years. Partners who kept asking, "How do people see us?" logged 22% lower relationship satisfaction. Psychologists call it the third chair syndrome, an invisible guest who never stops interrupting. Translation: comparison wedges a sportscaster between you and your spouse. The commentator tracks the score, not you. Biological taxes. Chronic cortisol locks testosterone and estrogen in the vault. NIH researchers jokingly call it the libido looter. Immunity stays on do not disturb, so flu season tackles you first. Telomeres, your cellular odometer, shrink, meaning you'll die on time but live less life. You survive, but your mileage tastes like flat diet cola. Creative leakage. Stanford's Center for Creativity found bursts drop 28% when subjects slip into comparison mode. You're signed up for the literature class, but your brain keeps calculating the kid next to you's verbal score. Meanwhile, your novel's title just flew out the window. Financial drip. FOMO buys. Everyone's got the new Apple Watch. I need one too. Pile on $2,834 in extra debt per U.S. household each year. Compound that interest over 3 decades, and you financed a small car. Congrats, the watch now tracks everyone else's purchases, not your pulse. Quick pain audit. How many dollars did you drop this week on friends bought it so items? After telling your partner, so-and-so just bought a house, how long did the room temp plunge? When was your last free-flow brainstorm before comparison crashed the party? If those questions sting, good. Pain can power motion. Up next, we'll draft your own reversal narrative, where you're both author and lead. Remember, pain is like diesel. Fuel the tank and you move. Pour it on yourself and you burn. So you've swallowed the headline figures, 10 lost work years, 2.8K in annual FOMO debt, libido on airplane mode, and you're thinking, okay, that's bad. Buckle up. The meter's still running. Mental interest charges. Every doom scroll lights up the brain's salience network like Vegas, then dumps the cognitive cleanup on the prefrontal cortex. Columbia neuroscientists clock this neural janitorial work at an extra 60 minutes of decision fatigue per day. Translation: by 4 p.m., you're squinting at an email, wondering why reply all suddenly looks like astrophysics. Opportunity burn rate. A Harvard Business Review side hustle audit found that professionals who redirected just half their comparison scroll time into a skill micro-practice. Think 5 JavaScript lines, 1 Canva design, a Duolingo lesson. Added 11th and in freelance income within 18 months. The opportunity cost isn't just time, it's compound potential you never cash. Physiological surcharges. Compare and despair spikes blood pressure in tiny spurts called micropressors. Cornell cardiologists tracked 500 office workers and found those spikes add up to the sodium equivalent of eating an extra 2 McDonald's fries orders a day. Arteries can't tell the difference between salt and stress. Social capital depreciation. Every "I'm not enough" spiral withdraws invisible currency from your charisma bank. University of Chicago sociologists logged conversation patterns at networking events. Participants who just scrolled social media were 30% less likely to initiate introductions and 40% more likely to bail after the first drink. The job offer or creative collab you needed. It walked out with someone who hadn't checked Instagram since lunch. Algorithmic tolls platforms. Notice your envy cravings and upsell you precision-targeted ads. Internal ad tech leaks show upward comparison segments click purchase links 62% faster than baseline users. In short, the algorithm rents space in your head, then charges you rent. Ecological footnote. Yep, even the planet gets a bill. Cloud servers powering your endless feed generate CO2 on par with a round-trip coast-to-coast flight every 5 years. Your thumbs are basically idling on a carbon treadmill. Reality check quiz. How many micropressors did you rack up today? Remember that email, that story, that side eye? If tomorrow's scroll time became a course module, what raise or side gig might bloom a year from now? Which unopened conversation in your DMs could have been a career plot twist had your comparison hangover not made you ghost? Feel the sting, perfect. Pain, leveraged, is propulsion. Keep that ledger open, because in the next segment we'll flip every deficit into a line of credit called your reversal narrative, where envy's overdraft becomes fuel for profitable, breathable, livable growth. Stay tuned, the audit isn't over, but the turnaround starts on the very next page. When Odysseus sailed past the sirens, he didn't just save himself, he steered an entire crew back to Ithaca. Your private flashes of autonomy work the same way. They broadcast a new navigation code the moment someone else spots the flare. Picture a workplace where tension stalls at the sender because colleagues have learned to say, "I'll process that on my side, thanks." Imagine a family dinner where everyone owns the emotion they bring to the table and no one mops up feelings that aren't theirs. Scale that up, a city block where comparison mutates into collaboration. Nice bike. Teach me how you budgeted for it? The World Health Organization warns that social isolation hikes premature death risk by 32%. Yet research keeps showing that authenticity-driven connection is the antidote. In other words, every time you choose self-aligned action over crowd-pleasing reflex, you crack a doorway in the wall that someone behind you can walk through. So let them doubt, let them snicker, let them keep score. While they're busy counting, you're busy lighting signal flares, bright enough for the next ship to chart a safer course. Comment the one app you'll mute or delete for the next 30 days, plus today's date. Come back in a month with your sleep, mood, and resting pulse stats. Let's crowd test the 11-year theory.